Hello, my friend. Today I'm going to share with you 8 signs your dog has joint pain. Now, dogs can't talk, so they can't tell us when something hurts. They can't tell us when their joints hurt. So we have to watch for subtle clues that they're giving us. We have to be kind of detective. Look for these signs and symptoms that a dog is in pain, especially with their joints. One reason for joint pain in dogs is arthritis. Arthritis is inflammation of the joints. Now, it can affect one joint or multiple joints. And most of the time it's degenerative, which means it gets worse over time. But there are other things that can cause joint pain, like injuries. Certain types of cancer, like bone cancer, can cause joint pain. Swelling in the joints, or even an infection in the joint, can cause pain. So let's talk about those 8 signs. One is reluctance to exercise. You may notice that your dog doesn't want to go on walks anymore. They don't want to play fetch. They don't want to go up and down stairs. They just don't want to move. If your dog used to be active, and you notice that they're just not as active anymore, that could be a sign of joint pain. 2 is stiffness. If you notice that your dog is stiff, especially in the morning when they get up, that could be a sign that they have joint pain. When they're stiff, it's usually due to inflammation. That's a common finding with arthritis. Sometimes you will notice that your dog will kind of hold their body in a certain way to try to compensate for the joint pain. Maybe they'll tilt their head or their back is kind of arched. It could also be a sign of joint pain. 3 is lameness. So this is when they're favoring a leg. They may be putting weight on that leg, or it may be swollen. You may notice that they're limping. They may be holding it up. Lameness is a classic sign of joint pain. If your dog is lame, it means that there is pain. There could be some type of injury to the joint. Maybe something happened while they were playing or running around the yard. Or it could be due to arthritis. 4 is swelling around the joints. So you want to feel around the joints? You can do this by feeling along the leg here at the top of the knee, down at the bottom of the knee, behind the knee over here at the hock, down at the hock, over at the elbow, down at the carpus, or over here at the shoulder. And you want to feel if there's any swelling. Swelling is usually due to inflammation. And so, if there's swelling and inflammation in the joint, it's a classic sign of joint pain. 5 is change in appetite. Dogs with joint pain often lose appetite. They may eat less. They may be nauseous. So if you notice that your dog just isn't eating as much as they used to, or if they seem nauseous, that could be a sign of joint pain. It might be because they're in pain. They don't feel well. Or it could be because their joints hurt and it's hard for them to get around, and maybe they could unget to their food bowl, or they could unget out to the place where they normally go to eat. 6 is change in water consumption. Similar to change in appetite, sometimes a dog with joint pain will drink more water than usual. This is because they re-inflamed, and they may be trying to reduce the inflammation by drinking more water. Also, if they have kidney disease or liver disease, that can lead to joint pain, so drinking more water could be a sign of joint pain. 7 is change in sleeping habits. If your dog is sleeping more than usual, that could be a sign of joint pain. Also, if you notice that they're whining or crying out in their sleep, that could mean that they're having pain in their dreams. Some dogs will kind of twitch in their sleep. They'll move their legs, they'll kind of whine. This is called a nightmare. Just like humans can have nightmares, and they yell, kick, and scream, and sometimes even bark in their sleep. Dogs can do that too. And it's likely that they're having pain in their dreams. So if you notice that your dog is having more nightmares or is sleeping more than usual, that could be a sign of joint pain. 8 is change in grooming habits. So dogs groom themselves. They'll lick their fur and their hair. They'll clean themselves. They'll try to keep themselves clean and neat. But if they have joint pain, they may not want to groom themselves. They may not want to clean themselves. They may stop taking care of their fur and their hair. This is because they don't feel well. They're uncomfortable. They're in pain. So if you notice that your dog isn't grooming themselves like they used to, that could be a sign of joint pain. If you see any of these signs in your dog, take them to the vet right away. A lot of times we can treat joint pain with medication, supplements, physical therapy, acupuncture, and sometimes surgery. The sooner we catch it, the sooner we can treat it and prevent it from getting worse. Dogs get arthritis just like people do. In fact, it's estimated that 1 in 5 senior dogs suffer from arthritis. This is why our products contain glucosamine and chondroitin. These are natural supplements that help support healthy joints and help with inflammation. Our products also contain omega fatty acids. These help with reducing inflammation throughout the body. so it helps with joint pain. And it also contains antioxidants and vitamins and minerals to help support a healthy immune system. I've been a veterinarian for 15 years. Thank you for watching this video. Please hit the like button and share it with your friends. And I'll see you next time.